Is a hero? Who is a hero? You can just give me an explanation of your understanding. It doesn't have to be of the Bible. Who is a hero? What is a hero? If I walked up to y'all outside of this church and said, "Who is your favorite hero?" Right? Who is a hero? Anybody? Shy people? A person who inspires. Okay? A role model. Thank you. A person we follow. Right? And in today's time and age, we give so much importance to the supernatural ones that come flying off buildings to save humanity, right? Although all of these heroes are just fictional. Yeah, so let's see what this series has to say about heroes. In today's world, and the image that pops into your mind is probably a pretty epic one. Thanks to comic books and movies, you might imagine someone flying around in a cape or in an invisible airplane. Or you might picture someone who swoops into impossible situations to save the day with superhuman strength. But in real life, heroes are ordinary people, just like you and me. When you first hear about the heroes of the Bible, it's easy to think they were all somehow extraordinary, and that's why they were able to do such amazing and memorable things. But as you learn more about them, you'll learn and you will find out they were really quite ordinary people: shepherds, tent makers, housewives. Yes, there was a queen, a few kings too, but they were far from perfect. The thing that made them heroes wasn't superhuman strength or even superhuman faith. They became heroes because they chose to love and live for an extraordinary God. And that's something anyone can do. When you put your faith in God, you can make a difference. Those caped heroes of your imagination might help save lives, but as a hero of the faith, you can help save souls by shining the light of God into the darkness of this world. The excitement continues. In this series, you can dig deeper and learn more about the greatest heroes of the Bible. Each of the devotions we go through connects the events that shaped these heroes' lives to situations that you and I might face in our day to day lives. As you discover how Bible heroes handle their troubles, you'll learn to better handle the tough stuff that comes your way and faithfully follow God at the same time. I've kind of segregated this series into fun facts. We'll learn a few fun facts of the heroes. Um, what I thought is, I don't want us to just learn about heroes. I want to see what we can do in our own lives as we go back. So I'm going to help us with some hero training, right? How can we be heroes? And finally, I'm going to leave you all with a hero challenge. Okay? As we move on, I'd like to do a bit of a guess game before I start with the first hero. So y'all are going to try and guess who that hero is. Okay? I've started with the Bible in 1 year, and this is the first hero I came across, and I started with Genesis. Any guesses? Any guesses? He was the first hero of the Bible. I'll give you another clue. He was the last good man at the time. Nobody? And the last clue, he was around animals, which I truly wish I could do. Noah it is. So that brings us to our introduction, a flood of trouble. Noah, the last good man. Some fun facts. Noah's father, his name was Lamech. He had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and he lived a lifespan of 950 years. Have you ever been stuck in a maze? Perhaps a con maze, mirror maze, horror maze in one of those malls? Y'all probably have taken your children, right? And then you've gotten past one part of the mirror and you're like, okay, I'm going ahead in the maze. And then you bang your head in the mirror, right? And you're like, okay, I got to go back and try another route. And then you take another route, and then you take another route. And you keep trying. And then you come to a point where you don't want to break your head. You don't want to bang your head. You start touching the walls, right? To those who don't relate to the mirror maze or the horror maze, in the daily articles in the newspaper, there is the maze game, a start and a finish, right? You draw a line through the start and the finish, and then you come through to the middle, and then you're stuck. And then you take an eraser, erase out everything, and then start over. Perhaps it was a con maze, a carnival maze, or a horror maze. No matter which way you turned, you found a dead end. Then, just as you were about to give up, those times where we're like, I don't want to be part of this maze. I just want to go out of this game. It's a waste of my time. I'm not able to work through the end, right? You hear a small, familiar voice, Dad. You know he'd take care of you because you belong to him, right? God also takes care of those who belong to him, who love and follow him. In the days of Noah, not many people followed God. In fact, Noah was the only man in the whole world who still loved God. So when God told him a terrible flood was coming to destroy every living creature on earth, Noah might have thought that was a dead end for him. But it wasn't. God told Noah to build an ark, a boat big enough to hold him, his family, and two of every animal on earth. Noah did exactly as God said. And all throughout the 40 days and nights of the rains, God kept Noah and all those inside the ark safe. When you're facing a flood of trouble and there seems to be no way out, remember that God saves those who belong to him. Love God, trust him, and follow him even when you don't see the way out, and he will take care of you. If you'd like to learn more about the life of Noah, please go through Genesis 6 to 8. I didn't intend on going through it in as much, but I thought I'll summarize it as I sat there preparing for this edition. Noah chapter 6, 7, and 8 basically gives a summary of who Noah is, right? God's instruction to Noah in terms of the flood that he was going to bring on earth because of the sin and the violence that God had seen. God was upset with his creation. And then God goes on to give Noah instructions, right? And as we read those instructions, God literally told Noah measurements. This is how wide the ark should be. This is how tall the ark should be. This is how broad it should be. All of those details, what wood, where the doors should go, where the windows should go, right? And Noah never questioned, right? He said, okay, God, and he did everything to follow every simple instruction. And then the rains came and flooded the earth for about 40 days and 40 nights. And as I sat there, I imagined how long did, and this is something that came to me on the go, right? How long did these people last in the boat, right? And now take the boat as the situation, the troubles of our life, which is why I introduced us as the flood of trouble, right? When a small thing goes wrong in our lives, like as students, if we fail a paper, or if we've planned for something like a new bike or a new car or a new home, and we run out of the finances and things don't go our way, you know how disappointed we get? And then we give up. A lot of times we say, maybe there's no God that exists. But in truth, if we hold on, we will see the brilliance of God. And Noah held on for a good 1 year, 371 days before he got off the ark. He held on, right? And we go to like a mirror maze, a horror maze, little troubles in our life, in our real everyday lives, and we say, oh, maybe there's no God. Oh, he doesn't love me. He doesn't care for me, right? Maybe this is too small to ask God. Maybe this is not something to deal with God for. But in reality, God should be our only plan. Right? So if you'd like to learn more about Noah, go through Genesis 6 to 8. As part of our hero training today, Noah must have had a terrifying ride inside that ark. Any of us who've gone on a boat and have felt like motion sickness, want to throw up? Yeah, Kokila put a hand up there. Sarita's put a hand up here, right? And we don't have details of how it felt for Noah, but we know those few hours, few days we go and we're like, we want to get off this boat. But Noah never questioned it. He never dreamt he was going to spend a year, an entire year in a boat, trapped up with animals, right? It was a terrifying ride for both Noah, his wife, their children, and their daughter in laws. And to top it all, I'm sure a lot of us here are not animal people, right? When we see animals, we say, oh, this is not my department, I'll walk away. And even in that, when God gave Noah instructions and said, you will take a pair of every animal and bird that walks the surface of the earth, Noah never questioned God and said, can I just take dog and cat because snakes are dangerous? Can I just keep away from the lion because the guy might just chew off my head? He never questioned God. Yeah? So when you are frightened, remember Isaiah 43, 1, 2. That's your hero training for the week. Can someone pull up Isaiah 43, 1 and 2 and read it for me? Anybody? 43, 1 and 2. Has anybody got it? Claim this promise by making it your own. God saves me. He calls me by name. I belong to him. He will always be with me. Amen. As we close, I'd like to leave us with the Be a Hero challenge. Right? Because you're probably wondering, Amanda, she went on the podium and she spoke about Noah and she did hero training. But where in today's age am I going to go build a boat, take the animals? This story is not relevant to today's day and age. No? What can I do? What can I learn from Noah's life? You may not be able to save the way God does, or in fact, the way Noah did. Right? If you come to think about it, you and me are walking in flesh and blood because of the one man, Noah, the last good man, right? So, but you can still save the day, or at least someone's day. Be alert for opportunities. Whose day can you save with a helping hand, a kind word, a great big hug, or a listening heart? As I close, Noah followed God's plan. Strictly God's plan, right? So let God's plan be your main plan, your back pocket plan, and your only plan. Thank you.